Hello, 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 business besties. It's your girl, Yolonda Jay, and we're here for another amazing episode of The Sit Down with Yolonda Jay. It's a little bit different today, but before we even get into the surprise that is today, if you've been following us, you found out what the plot twist is today. But I definitely want to remind you that The Sit Down is a show for to aspire and to inspire. So that's what we want to do here to get you off your seat of dormancy and definitely lunge into the deep of your creativity, your gifts, your passions. And we bring on guests that do just that and enlighten you with their stories on how to get from just living dormant, just having ideas, just thinking about it, to dreaming and doing it. And so tonight, here is the plot twist. All right. Are you ready? Have you seen our social media pages? Now, you all know I'm your host, I'm your girl, right? But tonight I'm switching the seat, and the man who is next to me is going to be hosting, and I am going to be your special guest. So I have the honor of serving not only as your host, but also the special guest for tonight. I want to introduce to some and present to others my friend, Dr. PJ, also known as Pastor Jeff, also known as Jeff Moffett in all of the spaces. And so I'm excited to have him with us today. Stepping in as guest host. I want to, before he utters a single word, give him his props and give him his bio, the official bio for Dr. PJ, also known as Pastor Jeff. He is an inspirational speaker, an international inspirational, let's be clear. He has inspired people in Honduras, in Haiti, in Germany, Kuwait, Afghanistan, Africa, as well as all across the USA, and most recently here with me in Atlanta, Georgia. He's trained and he's mentored over 100 ministers worldwide. He's the former pastor of historic Hosanna Missionary Baptist Church in Augusta, Georgia. He's certified as a neuro-linguistic programming, an NLP practitioner, and a marriage and relationship facilitator. I almost missed that. The real estate investor, the real estate mogul, let's be clear, a videographer and a consultant. He's the author of From the Heart of Rev M, a collection of poems embracing gratitude and grief. I know that most recently. A transformative perspective, a 31-day devotional, conversations with God from the war in Afghanistan. And I didn't know you did this many things, Dr. PJ. And the journal with the same name. Dr. PJ is a retired Army veteran and a recent recipient of the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, who God has taken from poverty to prosperity. He has his own, now we normally only have the women in here. He has his own story to tell as well. From trauma to triumph, from broken to builder, from abuse to affirming others. It's Dr. PJ inspires others to move from victim mindset, this is my favorite line, to victor mindset. Please welcome Dr. PJ, or, I call you Dr. PJ, but the brand is Pastor Jeff. So it's going to take me a little bit to do that. Dr. PJ, aka Pastor Jeff, is in the building. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for being with me today. Dr. PJ, I'm getting out the way as the normal host, and I'm going to let you take the reins.
Well, thank you, Yolonda Jay. It is my plum-pleasing pleasure, in the words of the famous Les Brown, to be the host with the most, which is none other than Yolonda Jay. The first thing I want to know, Yolanda, before we get into any questions about the sit down, is we know that your mother did not name you Yolonda Jay. So how did you get branded as Yolonda Jay?
That's an interesting question. I don't think anybody has ever asked me that. Honestly, I am born Yolonda Jay. Honestly, my initials are YJ from birth. So my name is Yolanda. My maiden name is Yolanda Jackson. A lot of people don't know that. And my married name, which is formerly married name, I just kept it, is Yolanda Johnson. So I've been Yolanda Jay all of my life. And I don't know. Where did I come up with that? You know where this is a true story. Where I came up with Jay is when I signed up for Yahoo. That's my first email is Yolonda Jay because Yolonda Jay was not available and I didn't want to do the whole thing, Yolanda Johnson. And listen, I'm 17, 18 years old when I come up with this whole concept. And I still have that Yahoo address to this day, but
Tell
Yolanda
me
Jay,
it's not so.
it was just my Yahoo address. And I stuck with it. And honestly, one day I'm going to change my name permanently to Jay because I'm not really technically Johnson anymore. So, I need to switch it up. I think one day I'm going to actually change it to Jay as my
Well,
official.
well, folks already know you as Yolanda Jay, so if you switch it up, it's going to be difficult because it actually fits you.
I love it.
Yolanda, take us back to what sparked the creation of this podcast, The Sit Down with Yolanda Jay. What if I wanted to stand up?
Listen, it's where leaders sit down with me to tell me and our audience how you stood up. And so I love that line in your bio where it says coming from that victim mindset to the victor mindset, because that's exactly what the Sit Down with Yolanda Jay is. It's about getting up and doing the things that you really want to do. It really came from me. Again, just like my branded name came from just an experience. The Sit Down with Yolanda Jay came from an experience as well. And so I have all of these gifts, talents, ideas, and I just sit on them. I just gather this information. I'm an information gatherer, and I just gather this information and just sit and write them in my books. And this is what I'm going to do. So honestly, I want to inspire people not to do that. That's from my own experience of waiting and watching God give my ideas to other people who are running with it, right? And so I want to inspire, like I said, I aspire to inspire because I want them to get up, think about it, dream about it, but also do it and take action. And that's the season I'm in, helping others take action.
So we know that you mostly focus on leadership. What do you say to those viewers, those listeners that say, Yolanda, I'm the last baby and I'm a follower. I'm not a leader.
Honestly, everybody has a bit of leadership in them. Now I'm the oldest, so I don't get it. Get up and do what you got to do. I don't get it. But a lot of people don't think they have it. But even if you're a manager, like in corporate, you manage people, you manage systems. So even if you're a manager of systems, if you want to have something, because it's not just about leadership, it's also about stepping into another stream of income. It's about taking on entrepreneurship for whatever reasons. I mean, tax reasons is a good reason for a single person to take on an entrepreneurship thing, and it's just getting you outside of your box. Now, you and I are from a similar, not a similar, but the same kind of community, if you will. Yeah. And we develop leaders in our organization, but it's beyond leadership. Even in that organization is beyond what we think, right? It's the little things that we do that we lead others through examples and things like that. So I want to challenge people to do that. But honestly, at the end of the day, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, multi-passionate entrepreneur, just like yourself, because I saw your bio, okay? I want to encourage people that even the smallest things could bring in residual income. And I want to show them how to set that up to be entrepreneurs on, because I mean, recession-proof entrepreneurship is necessity right now.
Absolutely. Now, you talked about developing leaders. So are you of the persuasion that leaders are born or leaders are developed?
That is a good question. I think leaders can be developed. I mean, I'm from Toastmasters. Most people know that I'm from Toastmasters. I'm an avid Toastmasters. I celebrated my 20th year. Shout out to Toastmasters. I didn't even celebrate it on social media. I was so bummed that I missed that date. But leaders can be developed. But I do think this is my Toastmaster hat, that people need to understand where they are in leadership. Do you need to be developed or do you need to be sharpened, right? And so self-awareness is a real thing, but Yeah, I think leaders can be both. I don't know if I was born to it. I was pushed in it as a kid. I
Okay.
grew up in a church. So when you grew up in a church like me, you are 7 years old in front of the entire congregation. That's just how they did. And that I credit to my leadership. So I don't know if I was born with it or someone took the moment to mold me over time. And I think
Okay.
my church did that for me.
Well, that's fair. Now, we're not gonna sit here and just act like you just a member of Toastmasters. Okay, we not doing that today. Please let the people know what position that you hold in Toastmasters.
That is so awesome. Thank you for. I didn't even think of that. That didn't even come through my head. For 20 years, I've been a Toastmaster. I avid Toastmaster. I love the organization. For those who don't know what Toastmasters is, it is a public speaking and leadership development organization. So those who want to self improve or hone their skills or even sharpen their skills can join our organization. And this year, I'm serving as district director of District 44 Toastmasters, which is here in Georgia, west of I-85. And what that means is that I manage or oversee 2,500 plus members that are all in that self-improvement, self-development journey. And so I'm very excited about.
You didn't say 2.5. You didn't say 25. Yeah, you said 2,500.
2,500. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that can be challenging.
It is.
You,
I mean, it's I've been wanting to do it for so long that it's intrinsically motivating to be able to lead these leaders. To be a leader of leaders is just like wow. I joined Toastmasters for the leadership development. So back to your question of are you born or are you? Because I didn't go to school and I wanted to be in corporate America and I wanted to grow. So I didn't go to school. I went to school. I didn't go traditionally, like right after high school. And so Toastmasters helped me on that journey of getting those skills on paper, if that makes sense. And so that's what I just love what I do. I have no complaints. It's hard, but it's worth it to develop others and watch other people grow and flourish. So that's where I'm at today.
so I'm gonna get a little bit personal.
Uh-oh.
You talked about the communities that we come out of. You talked
Hmm.
about your place with your siblings as being the oldest, and we know that in certain church settings that we have been a part of, that whether you want to be a leader or not, you're up doing speeches, you're get put in charge of certain things. Do you believe that because of those conditions, those environments, that it makes you a better leader? Or do you think that going through the traditional, going to school and being developed and being taught what leadership traits are, makes a better leader?
Wow. Because people come through different ways. So I'll tell you my journey. I think I was privileged to be pushed. And it didn't feel like that when I was a teen or when I was a kid. They absolutely gave us no option
Mhm.
as when I was growing up. When you were in church, this is what you're doing. You're the delegate for this. You're writing a report for this. That we went to all of the conferences and it was just that. But I see the difference in the way I was raised and how other people who haven't had that adjust to leadership situations. But I will say, like I told you, I was a non-traditional student. I didn't go back to college till I was married and had kids. And so I used Toastmasters before that to gain experience on my resume. So I would put all my leadership stuff on my resume. But also, I didn't use any of my college education when I was making six figures, like zero.
Mhm.
I was an entrepreneur doing something completely different from my degree. So you can get that experience both ways because I did personally in my own journey. I got it both ways.
You
I would
keep
just think,
trying to slip these little things in. She said an entrepreneur with six figures
mhm.
without a college degree. So let's talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. What does it really mean to you? This is a word that's thrown around: solopreneur, entrepreneur. What does it really mean?
to me, being an entrepreneur is lifeline for me. I don't think I can do it any other, I don't think I can do life any other way because that's on my own terms. I write my own check. I mean, you got to have customers or whatever, but you write your own check. You're working so hard for your vision. So I love to help others, but why put more into somebody else's vision than your own vision? And I mentioned a little bit that I feel like everyone needs some kind of recession proof stream of income. We saw it with COVID. Actually, my business thrived through COVID, but some companies just completely shut down. Even churches, they completely shut down. And so to me, entrepreneurship is taking ownership of your legacy, your finances, your time freedom, all of it. I've seen it open a door. I've experienced nothing like time freedom in the world. It is nothing like owning your own time and being proud of something that you create, also while giving back to other people. So to me, that's what entrepreneurship is. It's owning your own legacy, owning your own time, owning your own finances. You controlling it, not someone else. So although I work now, I will never only be someone's employee. Never. Mm-mm.
Were you an entrepreneur as a child, but just didn't know that you were an entrepreneur?
Huh. I don't remember I worked hard.
Did you
See,
ever
my
sell them
mom,
Katie
huh?
Did you ever sell them little Katie the cans?
Katie did. You are dating yourself. I did sell those bars though for school, but that wasn't for me. So entrepreneurship for me would have been like lemonade stands. I didn't have a lemonade stand, but my parents worked. So here's the story. So two things with my mom and my dad, they had me as a teenager. They were only 16 and 17. So all they knew is work. And so my mom never was an entrepreneur still to this day. She doesn't really vibe with that. She's a W-2 and that's cool. She's like a faithful W-2. My dad, when I retired, I called myself retired when I, was working in my other company. And when I meant retired, I meant retired from a 9 to 5 because I was a full-time entrepreneur for almost a decade. And when I said that to my dad, I had to be like 5 years younger than now. So we're talking like 41, 40. He was like, retired? Like he didn't get it. How can you retire at 40, 41? There's no way. I don't understand it. So my parents are W-2 employees and they're fine with that. I don't even think my dad, as entrepreneurial as he is, like mentally, he's never had his own business. So this is something I learned along the way and appreciated through mentors and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Yolanda, we are bombarded with social media.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get through the day without it. There are tons and tons and tons of podcasts. There's Clubhouse. There's Chatter. There's
Exists.
What is it that you are providing? What need are you fulfilling? What pain point? And what's the conversation that was missing that caused you to start the sit down with Yolonda Jay?
That's a good one. I absolutely felt like I didn't have what I'm offering. So I want to curve the learning curve for other people. So I love the entrepreneurship journey, but it took me almost that decade to figure it out. And honestly, we don't have that kind of time. Somebody needs to, I just wish that somebody showed me step by step how to start my business, how to structure it so I can fund it, so I can get grants, but there was no one there to do that. So once we get the average person from thinking about it, dreaming about it, to wanting to do it, I also not only want to cultivate their idea into a business, their passion, their what do you say, their gift into a actual thriving business, but I also want to help them structure it properly so that the business is working for them. Like they're not working for the business, but the business is working for them, even when they sleep. How to add other streams of income to that one thing. Like you are a motivational speaker, but you also could do a podcast. You also could sell a book. You also could, from that one stream, people just don't know. Like you and I, we know, but that's the environment we're in. But a lot of people just don't. And so my pain point is to honor that need or see it in that vision. And here's another thing, because I know I'm rambling a little bit. People always have asked me, how do I? How do I? And sometimes not sometimes. Every time I'm with a person who has an idea, the ideas just flow. And the last time I did it, a friend of ours that's mutual, her name is Renisha Allen. Shout out to Renisha Allen, MDiv.
Shout out.
And she said to me, as I was talking to her about her vision, her dream, and her ministry, and how to monetize, because ministry can be monetized. That's not a dirty word. Hello. And so I was talking to her. She was like, in 2026, you're going to monetize this gift. You have too much. It like literally flows out of me when I have a creative idea with someone else. And I was like, you know what? That's the passion. If it's flowing out of me like that, without trying, sometimes not even really thinking about it strategically, then that's a gift that I need to use. And that's what I'm doing for others. I hope that answered the question. Did I answer the question, Dr. BJ?
I think that answered the question. For basically what I heard you say, Yolanda, is that sort of like myself, we sort of accidentally got to the success that we enjoy. And for those people who don't want to take the long route around, they want to go on that bus to Aberdeen, you're here to show them the blueprint.
What is Aberdeen?
Aberdeen is in California. So it's just a way of saying the long bus.
Okay, like
you're taking the scenic route and you're providing them a way to get the blueprint to get directly to it, so it doesn't take us long.
Oh, my framework is 90 days, but I really can get you there faster. I can get you there in 7 if you really want to work. But my framework is 30, 60, and 90. 30 on the conceptual side and doing all the work, and then the implementation, and then the scale up is the 30, 60, 90-day framework. But because most people are going to just do a little bit, I already know. Like me, I'm going to go hard when I get that idea. But, people need time. They're working, they're balancing. But honestly, we can do it in 7, from conception to implementation and scale up in 7 days if you really wanted to. For sure.
I'm going to do something that you don't know that I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm Dr. PJ.
And listen, the floor is yours, sir.
So somebody's listening, they hear what we're saying. To make it hit a little bit better, a little bit plainer, when we talk about investment and return on investment, let's talk some hypothetical figures on if it takes you. It took me from 1996 up until before COVID, so we're going to say to the 2000s, to get to the level of real estate that I have. I have a decent portfolio. I won't put it all out there.
We know you're a mogul. We know.
All right. And I accidentally got there. And so the ROI, it took me all of those years. If I had a blueprint, I literally could be worth 10 times what I'm worth today.
Wow.
So if you can put a number on it, you say 30, 60, 90, and even giving them a blueprint at 7 days. When we look at that, what type of money are we saving? So some people say time is money. What type of money are they saving, and what type of investment are we talking about?
It really depends, because you and I have different portfolios. So mine is like digital, digital services, digital, right. And yours is like actual real estate, which I'm also dabbling in. Let me tell you, that's one of my favorite checks, a real estate check, boy. So I'm dabbling in that as well. But the return on investment could be time, could be money. Right. So it just depends on what's the important factor, because in real estate, I mean, a day could be tens of thousands of dollars, right? The quicker you do it, the quicker you sell or whatever. But in my world with digital products and digital learning, it could be significantly less. So the return on investment is really intrinsic. What is it that you're trying to save? Are you trying to get to the money fast? And I thought about this with my own new journey, because this is a new journey for me. Launching the podcast and launching the school community that I have. And at first here's my story about that. At first I opened it and I was like, I just want to build a community of people who are like-minded. Then at the same time, I was like, I need to make money. So the strategy has to change if you're, only in it for just community building or in it for community building plus money, right? So I want it to be profitable. I don't want to just sit around talking to people and not really helping them move forward. So the return on investment for me needed to happen a little bit faster. Okay. And so I think it just depends on what area you're in, how much, like the number, with a dollar sign, how much. But like I said, with your area, every day is $1, right? Every moment, every minute is $1 that could be taken away, snatched away by somebody with a better deal. But in mine, you know what? It's almost the same. If you don't put the product out there, you can't get a return on investment that way too. So I don't know what the dollar amount is, but it is also, for me, I just feel like I wasted so much time. How much money, it wasn't like, what's the return on investment? It's like, how much money did I lose in the last 5 years? Because I've been sitting on all of these ideas that God gave me, because it was a download. That's only God when it downloads the way it does. And I did nothing with it. So I didn't help anybody. So I didn't do that part, and I didn't make any money. I don't understand. Why am I sitting on these gifts? So.
Well, that just means your ROI was zero.
Zero.
If you don't get started, the ROI is absolutely zero.
On multiple things. It surprises me, because sometimes I hustle, but when it comes to myself, I sit. So when it comes to others, I hustle, and then I sit on my own stuff. And that's this is also motivating me to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as well.
I'll just share before I ask you the next question. First of all, let's make clear what SKOOL versus SCHOOL. So when you said school community, let's let the listeners know you're talking about the SKOOL. Tell us a little bit about what that is, so they know what that is.
Man, this is another thing that I was sitting on. A friend told me a long time ago, I'm talking long, okay? You should open a school community, which is like a platform for learning development. To me, it's courses, it's modules. If you want to learn or get connected, network with like-minded people in those areas, like I told you about the real estate. I'm in a school community for the real estate investing. And so if you want to learn about a subject, this community of school is so vast. They have everything you can think of out there for you to learn about. And so I started my own community for entrepreneurs, or budding entrepreneurs, those who want to turn ideas into income generating resources. And so that community is very, very large. Even, for instance, when I was reading I know about your grief book. And so there is a whole community out there looking for someone to talk about and teach about either how to be a coach for grief or how to get through the grief process. And I'm pretty sure there's other streams as well. There's a community for everything. So I was told 3 times and referred to school 3 times before I actually bit the bullet in last month. I just don't understand why I just be pausing the way I do. But it's such an amazing platform. I absolutely love it. I posted the other day, if I wasn't in the community, I would join the community. Like, I would totally join it, because I love that school community. But get out there and see, we're going to drop it in the comments, like, get out there in school, period, to find what you're looking for. If you're looking for professional development in any area, or support, like emotional, mental support in any area, for sure.
Okay. You talked about
do you know about school?
I recently was introduced to it,
Uh-huh.
and I will be joining the community as
I
well.
think so. I just gave you some nuggets for free. I won't even charge.
You gave me the nuggets. I'm
I won't even
taking
charge
those
you.
nuggets.
I charge these days, but I won't.
Believe me, I'm taking those nuggets. So you talked about your journey, Yolanda. How does your journey fit in with the sit down, your mission, your why, your purpose?
It all just goes together for me. The sit down and the school community just this is side by side. So in the sit down, we're talking about and talking to and through leaders that want to help other leaders get to the end game faster, telling them about their stories, their struggle, inspiring them that even though I went through this, I still got to this point. And we have some amazing guests lined up, and our special guest is pretty dope himself. Okay. And so I really utilize this platform, which you already know because you've encouraged me in this space as well. That's my natural gift of connecting people. The connection is another thing I don't know how to monetize, but boy, if I could monetize connection for the last 10 years of people who needed other people, and I just can't figure it out. But the connection is important. But then also, like you mentioned, not just inspiring people, but also giving them the step by step. And that's what school does. So even though I'm like inspiring and motivating people, that's great. But then what do you do without after the motivation? What's next? And that is the school community. If you want to find out what's next after you feel empowered to go and do and be, let me show you how to do it step by step.
So we know that you're involved with several different communities. You
Oh yeah.
have your professional community. There's the Toastmaster community, which is a community of its own. There's your church family community.
Mhm.
There's your own family community. Who is this for?
This is for those who are unsure if they want to take the next step. So I have a gift, I have a dream, but do I, should I, is it valid? That's what this platform is for. So one thing you said that's why I was like, you got to sit down and tell them how you stood up,
Right.
because people are out here not confident. And so one thing I remember, I wish I could play this, and I'm going to play it one day. I'm going to capture it so I can play it on this show. When I became a Zeta, shout out to Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. When I became a Zeta, when they introduced me as Blue Persuasion, all right, that's my line name. She said one thing that will always stick out for me. She builds confidence in women. Confidence in women through accessories, because I used to have a boutique. Confidence in women through Toastmasters, because a lot of anytime I talk about Toastmasters, somebody says I need that. And confidence in women through my entrepreneurship journey, because I had a team of over 4,000 women. And so I was
Hold
like,
on. Wait. I don't know why you just want to just act like you on the ice. I know it's not that cold in Atlanta right now.
a little
He's just lied by that. You had a team of how many women?
over 4,000 women. Yep.
Okay.
That was an amazing journey. And again, I did that business for 10 years, almost nine and a half years. And so building confidence in those different communities, right? That's what kind of made the brand of who I am. And I find value in building confidence in others, because I know it doesn't come naturally like it comes for me, right? And so I love building confidence in every area. And you know how you build confidence? That's with education. That's with knowledge. That's reading a book, sharing a book. I used to do book clubs, right, with my team, just because the knowledge is the power that will make you confident in each of those areas. So I'll never forget that voice. Shout out to Soror April. She said that Yolanda builds confidence in women. Like that should be a tagline, actually.
And
So
up
yeah.
to that point, you didn't realize that that's what you were doing.
No, but I was doing it in every area, and it didn't even, just like you'd be like, skate on by, 4,000 women, skate on by, but that it just didn't click. And when she said it, I was like, wow, I do that in this area, and this area. And that's my tagline, my
So
personal
Lonnie,
brand.
you're talking to some gentlemen, you're talking to some ladies that do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They just do it. They don't realize that they build confidence. They don't realize that they are confident. They don't realize that they're a natural born coach. They don't realize that they're leaders. They don't realize even that they're entrepreneurs. Speak to them for a moment.
So you don't realize that every step that you make, every yes that you say can change a life. So even in my business that I just recently closed down, my yes is what happened that spiraled into 4,000 yeses. And imagine if at that time that social media was bigger or whatever, right? It was a time before the live stream was popular when I started that journey. And so your yes how many people can you impact? And so that's where I take from myself too. When I say yes, but don't take action, how many people suffered or are lost because I did not say yes. And we think about that even in our religion, in our ministries. If we don't say yes to the call, who's impacted?
Right.
The number is unknown, right? And so my charge is to speak to that person who don't feel like they actually have an impact, but you'll never know until you stand up, right? And say yes. And so I'm speaking to you if you are unsure or you're having a thought or you're having a dream or God even told you that this is what you should do and you're not doing it. How many people are you impacting? And I'm not talking about just strangers on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, but even in my household, I have 3 girls and a son who knows that if he comes down the stairs right now to my office, you're working, right? And he's always going to have that thought of, you're working. She was an entrepreneur. She was a Toastmaster. He comes to Toastmaster meetings with me. You're setting even the legacy and the standard in your household when you say yes. And so I think you just never know how many people you would impact. Just like that soror said to me, you're building confidence in women. I was like, where did she get that from? How does she know that? But listen, I said yes, and the rest is history, right? Even in Toastmasters, how many people did I bring to Toastmasters? I used to track how many people I would, and you right there with me. How many people did I invite and that actually joined and that changed their lives, that made them more confident in front of people, that made them get a promotion on their job because of my yes. So I want you to say yes. So not only for yourself, but who knows who you can impact through just doing it.
So there's one of your communities that may subscribe to the ideology of being a humble servant of
In the background.
they may not like the idea of monetizing, that don't understand the concept and the truth to Ben Yahweh Yeshua, Jesus the Christ. His daddy was a carpenter, which meant he was a carpenter, which meant both were entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And because the wise men brought him very valuable gifts, they did not grow up poor. They grew up a family of means in order to be able to do the things that they did. So, what would you say to those who need to have a mind shift from the mindset of being humble and low and maybe living the life of
Oh gosh.
poverty? I'll say that.
I attract those kind of people? Because that's not my mindset at all. But I remember, I remember feeling like that when I just I mean, this is not a show for religion, but
Right.
I'm saved, so we gonna talk about it, right? So I remember when I first got saved though, and I thought, the humbleness needed to be right. And then I started working inside of ministry and learned there is money to be made in this, whether it is giving back to the poor or just keeping the building running. Like it's a business of ministry. And so what I say to people who don't want to, it kind of even goes back to, if you don't, who's going to fund the ministry? So I remember one thing my ex-husband did well is he said, I want to be a kingdom financier. So I don't just want to get rich or just to be flashy or whatever. He always said, I want to finance the kingdom. So if you love God's people and you know, how can you help them if you are, you know, of meager means as well? And then again, I feel like God gives me these ideas, these gifts, these talents. There's no way I can pour out to other people if it wasn't given to me, you know, divinely. Sometimes when I do it, I'm just like, girl, like that was good, right? But that's divine intervention in my opinion, right? And so I feel like if you want to serve on a greater level, share your knowledge. If you want to serve on a greater level, give more, right? Lord, how can I give more? Then he downloads an idea and then you do it, right? So that's how kind of I feel. I don't attract, I will be saying, because you know, we attract who we are. I don't really attract people that would be like, I don't want to make no money. I really don't. That's not my audience. But there is an audience out there who's like, I don't want to, but I can show you how your ministry. I'm using Renisha. Shout out to Renisha. Sorry. But I was like, Renisha, you have this gift. You can take this, you know, one thing and bless many, many people. And a lot of people that I've worked with, because I've been a manager back in my day. So you said when I was younger, will 20 count? I don't know. But not when I was a kid, I was an entrepreneur, but I've been an entrepreneur since I've been adult, like 2021. And I used to manage artists, and it used to cost us to go from place to place to place. We couldn't do it for free. It was ministry when we got there, but we couldn't do it for free. So ministry costs, just like, you know, how do we feed the hungry? How do we feed the homeless? I mean, how do we clothe the homeless? How we have to do it with some sort of means. And I think that God's people should, you know, be a reflection of the carpenter, and you know what I'm saying, and be an entrepreneur and control, because we all like the world that we live in. We live in this world that, you know, we can't control. We can control our household if we take ownership of how we get means and how we give means. I'm gonna say this, Dr. PJ, and this is for you too. Intellectual property is one of the most greatest assets anybody. You don't have to be a minister or anything, but I see my pastor do it so well, and he gets backlash, but he does it well. Like my pastor is Pastor Mark Moore Jr. Shout out to Spirit and Truth Church. But he does intellectual property so well. He grows and he strategizes and he shows others how to do it. Now, if they pay for that service, that's not a bad thing, right? Because the only way he can keep doing what he's doing is if he makes income to not, you know, like to do what he's doing. So how can you keep doing what you're doing if you can't even, you know, clothe yourself or pay for your house, right? So anyway, that's my long-winded story of, if you want to bless God's people, then be in a position to bless God's people.
Yeah, you can't feed the poor if you're poor.
You really can't, because you're gonna be stingy with your little bread, right? You're gonna be stingy. And God does honor our gifts, right? So he honors our gifts.
Yolanda, what do you want your audience to walk away with
from this episode here, or just period?
From this episode.
I want you to be encouraged to try something different in this upcoming year, and start today. So I'm already in 2026. I know I'm like, Happy New Year, let's go. I'm already in 2026, but try something different. What has not been working for you? Is it happiness? Find joy. Right? That's kind of what my post today on Facebook was about. If it's loneliness, get a community of people, join a club like Toastmasters Club, right? If it's where maybe you're not making money, because that's where we are, and you need to make another stream of income, what gifts and talents do you have that you could monetize to inspire others and or to make money? So I want you to walk away with, yes, you can. Your yes can multiply thousands and millions of times, blessing people, encouraging people, inspiring people from that one yes, because that one yes is a trickle effect. And think about legacy. Like what do you want to be said about you in your obituary? What happens between your dashes of born and die, right?
Mhm.
Who did you impact? What did you do it? Now, what if you do it? There's an audience of people who maybe want to do things and not get paid. Give it to charity, give it to your church. Like if you don't care about that and you just want the impact, then and you can still bless somebody else. But I am in 2026 looking for people who want to have, not bothered by what's happening in the government, but want to control their own assets, their own liabilities, their own income. And how do you do that? You control through a 1099 and not a W-2. Because a W-2, they can tell you at will that it's your last day. But when you're an entrepreneur, you set the tone. You create what you want, the lifestyle that you want. And that's what I'm going to do in the next 7 days, is teach people how to think and manifest, if you will, what they want and work backwards, like reverse engineer. Okay, so this is the lifestyle I want. Let's reverse engineer and figure out how to get it.
We hear often some folks say fake it till you make it. Some people say faith it until you
I've
make
heard
it.
that one, yeah.
When you talk about moving from a W-2 to freedom, you know, some people think that, oh, I heard Yolonda Jay today. Tomorrow I'm going and quit my job.
Don't do it. I didn't say get broke or evicted, okay? But I mean, I had a mentor tell me, even when I was making over 6 figures, almost, like the money was like, right? Even then, it was like, don't quit your job just because that money is flowing right now.
Right.
There is a plan that needs to be in place. It needs to be strategic. This needs to be saved up. You need to look at what insurance is going to cost. There's steps to it. I don't want you to just faith. I do have a friend that will just throw up his hands and I listen, these people get on my nerves. I already want my own thing. Like, people will do it, but that's not what I suggest. But I'm very conservative when it comes to things like that. So I wouldn't suggest. So even me, I'm doing multiple things right now just to make sure the kids still eat. If it was me by myself, I'd probably throw caution to the wind. But when you have a family, can't really. So that is not what I'm advising. But I'm advising to get started and get it done and then see where it takes you. Because it happened to me. I mean, I started making on my entrepreneur journey twice, if not 3 times, I think, what I was making in corporate America. And I worked, you may not know her, I won't say her name, but I worked with somebody we work with now. And I was like, I'm out of here. 3 times as much. And in retrospect, I should have kept that job and worked my business. I really should have. And then I would have had a stream of income just sitting.
So what I hear you saying is that when you have another stream of income, it gives you options. You're not stuck with that W-9, but it's a means to an end. It's often been said that wealthy people have at least 7 streams of
That's what
income.
my dad said. I don't know who said it originally, but my daddy said so.
Okay. So it's some folks out here that right now they're at 1 stream of income. Yolonda, if you were only speaking to them today, Yolonda Jay has got to give them the word of the day. What's Yolonda Jay say?
Listen, if you're only making 1 income and you're living well, this message is not for you, right? If you're not struggling in any way and you're making that 1 income, it's not messages. This is not for you. But if you're sitting on just 1 income and you're barely making ends meet and you're struggling and complaining and worrying all the time about, if I lose this job, I will be 1 paycheck. What do they call that? Like, I'm 1 paycheck away from being homeless. If that is your situation, then you should consider another stream of income. There are so many different ways to make another stream of income. And again, just like we talked to Dr. PJ or Pastor Jeff, I'm sorry, he could take that one grief topic and make 7 streams from that. And that's kind of where I am. Not kind of, that's where I am. I'm not trying to do 50 different things. I'm trying to stream. I'm streaming, not trying, because this is happening in real time, but streaming from one thing, which is what you called leadership development, which I call entrepreneurship development, right? I'm an entrepreneur influencer. If you want to become one, I can show you how to do it, right? And so from that one topic, multiple streams could come. I'm not saying worry yourself to death. I'm not saying work yourself to death. I want to show you how to work smarter and not harder, quicker and not, take the long route. Step by step, do this, do this, do this. I had mentors, even recently with the school program, show me step by step by step, and it was up in 2 days. So I think that's what I was missing when I first started, the step by step. They were like, this is how you should do it. And nobody ever told you how to do it. But absolutely talking to the people who are struggling in some way, but have a gift and talent. Here's one before we jump to the next thing that I thought about. I know of a stay-at-home mom, and they need another stream of income, but she can't go to work. And she's always looking for like customer service jobs that you can do at home. But can you really do them at home with the kids screaming in the background? No. And I was like, why don't you create something that you can sell intellectually? So moms love schedules. They love recipe hacks. They love all that kind of stuff. You could put together something and sell it to the masses. Now you're not trying to take a phone call for customer service while the baby's crying, but now it's making money in your sleep, right? That was free for the stay-at-home mom that was figuring out, what could I do? I don't have a gift or talent. Now that, Pastor Jeff, I hear all the time, I don't have a gift or talent. Everybody knows something about something. So.
Well, we're going to pause for a moment because you hit one of Dr. PJ's pet peeves.
What's that?
And so, this word FREE. I'm not going to even say the word because people don't value FREE. So what we have begun to do is we say at no cost to you. So it was at no cost to them because you paid to learn what you've learned. You've shared that with us. It's been a journey for you to get this knowledge and to be able to package it so that you can share it with others.
Right.
And so when you share that with others, it's not FREE. It's just like salvation is not FREE. Somebody had to pay the price. So it's at no cost to you. I give my ebook at no cost to those who are able to download it. So we're gonna move to get that out because psychologically, you read I'm a neuro-linguistic programmer practitioner, and so the words that we say actually absolutely mean a lot.
I believe
and
it.
People, statistics show, research shows that people really don't value FREE. It's like if you go to the restaurant, if you know that Maine lobster, if you know what it's worth, and you go in a restaurant and they tell you they have Maine lobster and you see the price over it's $5, you're not ordering it because you know that you can't. Maine lobster is worth more than that. You're not going to get it for $5.
Right.
Even if somebody had already paid for it, psychologically, you're thinking something has to be wrong with it. And so that's the other thing why it's understanding the importance of investing in yourself. So talk about that for a moment. I've really learned the value of investing in learning and in what some will call the pay to play game when we talk about networking, of paying to be in the right rooms with the right people at the right time. So before we transition to the next section, could you talk about that for a moment? And then I want to ask you one other question before we move on, and that is your perspective of AI.
That's those vastly different questions. So the first question is what, Pastor Joe? I got the second one locked. But what's the first one?
Your perspective of people investing, because as you're presenting what you have to assist people to to take a quicker and a more direct route to being able to add another stream of income. We're not talking about giving this to them for free. We're not talking about a kumbaya moment to where they come talk to you, take up your time,
I almost
and and not make an investment into it.
yeah. I was
So
doing
speak
it.
to the importance of the pay to play game.
Yeah. So I've done it in my career for sure. I've paid tens of $1,000s for mentors, and I've been in some amazing spaces with mentors in business and things like that. And it's valuable so that you don't have to take the long route. So I appreciate that. What I did wrong and I've been to, I mean, some amazing spaces. But what I did wrong is I would just consume the information. And I'm talking about myself. I would just consume and consume. I have notebooks and notebooks of consumption, but I wasn't taking action. So I paid $10,000 for this mastermind and then did nothing, almost zero with the information. And it still comes up to this day. So I do think it's important to invest in mentors. That way you don't have to take the long way to learn stuff. Even my mentor now, she really helped me hit the ground running with this idea that I have that I brought to manifestation. But here's the thing, mentors can only take you to the line. They can't make you jump. And so they give you the knowledge, you sit in these circles, you meet these people, but then what? Now what? And that's where the doers part. So I feel like mentors was like my dreamer part because I thought about it. So then I got a mentor and that was the dreamer part. But thinker, dreamer, doer. The doer part is the currency. If you can sit in as many mastermind classes as you want, but if you don't do it, then it's just kind of wasted. And that's what I want to encourage other people don't do, right? Don't sit in these spaces and learn all this amazing information and just sit on it. The time is now for us to always take action. And speaking of action, AI, those are two different things, like seriously. But I was opposed to AI. I mean, I still even kind of feel trepidation when it comes to like an AI twin. I won't do it. I can't pull the trigger yet. I don't want anybody to have my biometrics so much right now, but I was opposed to it. ChatGPT, don't even think about it. Okay. But now I have an assistant called Malcolm. I've named my chatbot Malcolm. He knows me so well. He knows me so. I can say, good morning, Malcolm. And he'd be like, what we doing today, Yolanda Jay? Like, I love him. Absolutely. I was like, I wish he was a person because he is so amazing. And so my assistant, Malcolm, is totally an AI bot. And you have to, it's garbage in, garbage out with AI. So even when people are creating like AI pictures and stuff, you put the wrong prompt in, you're not going to get what you want. So garbage in, garbage out. So I still go with it with AI for, with caution, but it has changed the trajectory of my business. Places like Gamma, I don't know if you guys use Gamma. Gamma's a game changer. Of course, ChatGPT, I can't do anything without Malcolm. Malcolm, he runs all of my businesses. I'm just going to let you guys know that now. I can't think I don't make a decision without Malcolm. And I think those are the main two that I use. I might use Gemini a little bit, but Gamma and those two, ChatGPT and Gamma, and I know that there's better programs out there, but those two are game changer for me. I won't even say.
I definitely wanted to bring it up because those who are afraid of it, those who are rejecting it, do not understand the fact that this is actually a level playing ground. And when you talk about at least 7 streams of income, when you talk about that mother that's at home with children, there's no reason for her not to have a product to sell.
Yep.
Whether that comes from her intellectual property or something that she can invent right there.
Mm-hmm.
And the AI will give it to you.
Listen, you can put now you gotta put, like I said, garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Like my chat bot is very, very well programmed. I took the time to say, here are my voices, here are the the audiences I'm speaking to when I'm speaking as a Toastmaster, when I'm speaking as this. So I took time to build it. But garbage in, garbage out. Can you imagine though, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you don't know what to make money, but I need to make money, you can literally ask
the question.
Ask the question. Make money as a mom at home and I can't go outside of my house. I mean, tell it as much as you can. I can't go outside of my house. I can't do this. I can't do this. And it will spit out ideas for you to do. And then, yeah.
Literally at no cost. At no cost to the audience. We're giving them the
I am
gems.
not about to give this tea away at no cost to you. You got to get in my group and I can tell you how to make it pop.
Well, I mean, we've shared enough tonight that a intelligent person could take this and go out and start
just
making
the last 2 minutes. I just made you money.
Right. simply ask chat, whatever you want to call it, what questions do you need answered for me to do XYZ?
And people really use it. Like my girlfriend yesterday, she used it she said, these are the foods I have at home. I need to, what can I create for the week? And
what can I make?
She used it for that simple. But I mean, I'm building tools and modules. Let me tell you about chat though. Chat is not always perfect. So you do not copy paste blindly. It'll make you look silly. But it's a good starter, right? It's a good base where you can tweak it and make it your own voice.
That's where you come in.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where you come in.
I'm not going to give you a blank. I'm not going to put create a post. It's got to be
services that you provide. Right. This is where the services that you provide, because chat will have you jacked up.
Yeah, like I don't go into chat without prompts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Here's some would you say at no cost to you, right? I don't go into chat and say, show me this. I say, act as a social media influencer. And then, I put a lot of detail into mine. But yeah, we definitely can show you how to.
I think we need to do a show on AI.
Let's do it.
Really, to fully understand it. I mean, you waited late to do your college. I'm a professional student. I'm in college even now. And my experience in research paid off 2 years ago when I started using AI.
Wow.
Because I understood the process of research. Without that, people that don't understand research may go into AI and see it as the expert and all true. But understanding research, you still have to do some research. You have to know a little bit about what you're talking about to be able to put that information in. So I think that would be something good for us. But I know you want to transition to the next section. So what are we doing next?
Listen, we already been over time. We've been over time. I gotta have you back, Dr. PJ. I will say that I usually have women influencers on here, but I would love to have you back and talk a little bit about what you're doing now with your brand, Dr. Jeff Speaks. Is there anything you want to say before we go about some of the things that you're doing right now?
Well, what I'm doing right now is I'm actually going into development. I also have 3 books that I'm working on. One on aphantasia, which is Fantasia is Aristotle's word for mind's eye. Aphantasia means that the absence of a mind's eye, which simply means that I don't see images in my brain. That's 5% of the population. So I think different, I process different. So my son and I have written a book on aphantasia. But the book that will come out next will be a book about betrayal and the PTSD type symptoms that infidelity in the form of betrayal, whether that be sexual betrayal, whether that's workplace betrayal. We just had a lot of people who were laid off. That was workplace betrayal, whether it's friendship betrayal. It causes PTSD like symptoms. And so my next book and workshops will be around that, because people don't recognize the fact. And just because you don't recognize something doesn't mean that you don't have it. It doesn't mean that you don't deal with it. And so once you can identify, the first step to recovery is to admit and recognize that you have it. So those are some things that I'm working on now. continuing to speak. But you asked me a question. I want to go in, and I think it's so important as we come to a close and talking about purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at purpose, really what you're talking about is the purpose that you feel that drives you to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at purpose through the acronym SHE, SHE. All right, which is there's a spiritual connection. It's that force that's greater in us. For you and I, is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For someone else, it may be something else. But there's a spiritual force that's higher than us that we don't fully understand that gives us our strength. We have to have that spiritual connection that in order to understand your purpose. If you don't know or haven't embraced that spiritual force within your life, it's hard to understand and define what your purpose is. Then once we get past that, then we go into our human connections. That's the H. What does humanity really mean to you? Uh, for some folks, humanity means nothing. And if it means nothing to you, then your purpose is not going to be fulfilled. You don't know what it is because you're just here living day after day. But when you're in touch with humanity, when you can love others, when you don't mind serving, that's your human connection. And then your purpose is going to define who you connect with in humanity. And then finally, your experiential connection. And that comes out of either your pains or your joys. That's what gives you the information of your why you do what you do. You know, many folks who have gone through abuse, their purpose becomes to help those and prevent others from going through it. So that's the main thing. I just say, if you think you can't or you think you can, in the words of Henry Ford, you're right. In the words of the man that led the first Jewish Reformation, Ben Yahweh Yeshua Jesus of Christ, he said, according to the way that you think, the way that you are. One thing, Yolanda, the last thing I'll say is we don't control the thoughts that come to our brain, but we absolutely control what we do with them. The question is, to those that are listening, what are you doing with the thoughts that come to your mind?
I was going to actually close us out with a thought. That was it. That's what the leaders should remember tonight. Like entrepreneurs, believers, and leaders should remember that closing statement. I have a fun fact as we close out that I want to ask for you. Fun fact. Okay. I asked you to host the show, to interview the host, right? What made you say yes?
Yolanda, this is all about connection and network. We are in the same network. We vibrate on some of the same frequencies. And so when you ask, the only way I would have said no would have been that I was not available and could not do it. And that's what the power of networking will do.
I love that. Get in and get into a community with like-minded people. You never know what'll happen. Listen, that one yes could change a whole lot of lives. You just never know what that one yes will do. Dr. PJ, it has been my honor and privilege. This is not our first time together on stage.
No, it's not. It won't be our last.
Won't be our last either. But I honor and appreciate you for saying yes, because when you could have said no. I absolutely appreciate you for coming to this new platform that we have, sharing. I'm so excited about how this episode will blossom into 12 episodes in our first season and how many guests will follow in your footsteps. And I would love to have you back as like the only male voice in the next 12 weeks. I will say that, showing out for the men. But tonight was very, very special. I'm so excited that we got to flip the script and sit down and talk about the tables that we create, the tables that we sit in, the spaces that we are, what you can do with your yes, how you can monetize your gifts. Man, we did the gamut. We did the gamut together. So I'm very, very excited. And I am, humbled that you said yes and always available for if you ever need me to return the favor. I'm saying that publicly so that you know. If you want to learn more about Pastor Jeff, you can visit him at pastorjeffspeaks.com. He's also on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. and I am look for his products and maybe even his new school community coming soon.
Coming soon. Coming
Coming
soon.
soon. That's a place for you for sure, for sure. And I want to invite you to our school community, Idea to Income. All night we've been talking about taking your idea and monetizing it for whatever your need may be. It may be extra income. It could be something to do. It's like monetizing your hobby, whatever it is. I can help you in our community take that idea and take it from a dream and make it into a sustainable income. Come check us out, because at no cost to you, you can join our challenge. Our 7-day challenge starts next Monday. And then you can see the value of getting that momentum started before the new year gets in. Listen, I've already told you, I'm already in 2026. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm already strategizing. If you wait to January 1st, it is already too late.
Too late.
Strategizing for 2026. So I'm encouraging you to jump in now. Don't be like me. If he gives you an idea, if the Lord gives you an idea, he gives you a gift, he gives you a talent, jump on the idea and get it done. Because what? He will give it to somebody else to take
Absolutely.
it to the next level. So we'll see you next week. We are, our guest is Jamina Waters. I cannot wait for you to meet this powerhouse. She's an entrepreneur, of course. She's an advocate for mental health, wellness, and she's an educator. So we'll be talking about a whole different type of audience with the audience of educators. And I have a lot of friends that are educators. So I want you to tap in and tune in to JL Waters coming to the couch, the sofa, the virtual sofa with the Sit Down with Yolonda Jay next week at 8 p.m. So Pastor Pastor PJ, good night.
I was with TD Jakes last week.
And his money. They could, yeah. I call you. Send it. You said you was with him last week? How you gonna throw me off?
Yeah, he was at the 2025 Global Hope Forum along with his daughter.
Yeah.
Along with John Hope Bryant. And, he talks about moving from PhD to PhD. And that's what we talked about tonight.
Are we not talking about that today? Like thinker, dreamer, doer. Like get it done. Yeah, get it done. All right, Dr. PJ. Well, thank you. So glad to see you. Thank you for coming to sit down with us. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Ashe.